Thank you. I am Archie. I'm a commercial civil servant. I have a world of my own, and I would like you to have a world of your own. Before I start, I'm going to try to explain some abstract ideas and thoughts, and sometimes I do tend to go off quite quickly, so if there is something incomprehensible, just sort of raise your hand and I try to clarify myself. So why do you need a world of your own? Well, the real world we all live in today do have some problems. And we need to find strength, security, knowledge and humor inside ourselves to combat these problems through creativity. And what is my world? My world is a world aside of reality. It is a state of mind where I can be completely free. In this world, there are no social connections. I do not feel awkward to give a speech in front of you. It is a place where the lack of material possessions do not play part. I can own all the art in all the great museums, and I can repaint them. It is a place where the daily mundane tasks of everyday life do not play a part. And it is a place where people, events, can connect with each other over time. Basically, it's a place to space bridge in. So what is the purpose of this world and why do we need it? I believe we need this world to be creative in a sort of more deeper sense of the world, to be able to do good. And I believe we have to start with ourselves to make a change. I call this the power of being you. It's only yourself you can ask to educate, elevate and inspire other people. It's only you who can make other people have new dreams. And I think it is your creativity that can create the products that can change the way we think and act as humans. And this is the key today. Your creativity, how to make a change, how to make a product that will elevate and educate others, how to do good through the market. This year's Right Livelihood Award was given to a Chinese, Huang Ming. He constructed a solar power boiler so that this now heats the homes of 250 million Chinese people without any use of fossil energy. I, on the other hand, decided to create a canon of the great artists, the great lovers, the great writers of all time. Mostly just to educate myself and to elevate some rather stupid friends of mine. And in the process, when I started talking about these people who would go on a canon of the greatest lovers, who would be in there, would be Cleopatra, would Madonna be in there, or the greatest writers, I educated myself and I found that the people I asked about this task, they started educating themselves as well. They found things and we had conversations that I never previously ever had with them. So that was a small circle. How would I then take this knowledge and try to emulate this spreading or sort of gaining of knowledge in a wider circle? We had to put the canon onto something that would be a social context where you still would speak about it. So the dinner, of course. So in the end, these canons then ended up on a dinner candle. And like a lighthouse, they look like these candles, and this is the sort of greatest writers of all time, lovers, sorry. And like a lighthouse, these candles help your dinner topics to stray away, so you can elevate yourself. You can sort of discuss, why would Alain Delon be on a Candles of Greatest Lovers when maybe not Brad Pitt is on? And you can talk about artists and writers. And if you don't know half of the names, you probably would need to be home and do some studies instead of sitting at the dinner. And the other product I did, of course, are the notebooks. They are empty. And my thought with them was for all people to create their own canon. And when they are sitting talking about jet setters I met and liked, they might find knowledge or a little bit of fun in their daily lives. So as we speak, people around the world use these books to record or write or just to give away. And in that process, they become slightly more aware of something they did not know before. So I believe that all these products, from Huang Ming to my candles and other things, is a small way forward to do good through the market. And for you to sort of become a part of this, you need to find your own world, the world that I have, to expand your creativity on a wider horizon, so that you don't only think about what the product might look like, what color it might have, or sort of the production facility, the logistics of it, the economics of it, but try to strive for a slightly higher or deeper meaning into it. Put a little bit more knowledge, humor, security and strength into these products, and we will do good. So where will these products go into? Well, they will go into this greater world that we all share, that I find quite problematic. And the problem with it is not its limitations, but its totalitarian accessibility, intellectually and physically. The web now sprawls every part of our social life. With the same device, we work, we rest, and we amuse ourselves. At the small tip of a finger, we can do almost anything. And the problem with this accessibility is that we have a world without history. We don't have physical objects that relate to our daily lives. We don't have physical objects that relate to our emotions. When was the last time someone gave you a nicely wrapped mixtape as a token of affection? Or when was the last time you read out of your secret diary to your kids as a gift from generation to generation? For when most things are digital, nothing is for real. It is a world that is easily tampered with, changed and falsified. And it is a world where it's very hard to find original and authentic things and ideas. And all this can be changed instantly on a global scale. And how can you then recognize genuine human creativity? I think the digital world is like sugar. It is sweet, fast, and with not any lasting positive effects. My wife sees the internet as candy. You get nauseous if you have too much of it. But all of this is of course not evil. But I do ask you to combat these symptoms, digital symptoms, and sometimes throw away your digital walker. Because I believe you have all the capability, the creativity to create lasting impressions in the real world, physical impressions. I believe you have the capability to edit this sort of astronomical flow of information into knowledge that other people might act and learn from. And so how does one start on such a gigantic task? I would say my gospel is very simple and easy. You must create your own world and trust that. For it's only there you can find your strength, knowledge, security, and humor when other people think you're odd, turn a blank face to you. But do remember, history is made by those who show up. So, I would say, bring out your scissors, your pens, your glue, your magazines, your bus tickets. Start cutting, pasting. Do this with other people. Use a chainsaw. Build. Create. Leave physical impressions in the real world. That's the start. A small step. I do this every time I go on a trade show, which is a lot more simple than being in here because people move around the usually very loud atmosphere. I bring a scissor, a couple of them actually, and I bring a lot of magazines, newspapers, and I start cutting. I cut for 4 days. I create a hell of a mess. And people stop. People stop to see the mess, to see my scissors, to see the scrapbook, to see the magazines. And almost all of them start talking to me. We interact. We talk about what's in the papers, why I use such a large scissor, or the products. And all of them, when they leave the mess I created, they will have a smile on their mind. They will think, well, if he can do that, well, maybe I can just do such a small thing in my own life. And in this way, you can also be guided commercially. For you create your own market. Every time you educate or change something in another person, you leave your imprint on that person. And if you go on educating, inspiring, elevating people, you will end up with a pretty large market in the end. And that is how I came to sell my things in over 30 countries over the world, and hopefully putting a bit of color and humor and wit into the daily lives of quite a few people. Thank you for your patience and your time, and a Merry Christmas.